All right, I'm here with the speech class of La Junta High School. We are here to talk about Standing Rock, and I am here with fellow listeners, including myself, Izaya Nunez.
Diego Salazar.
Bryant.
Sabrina Oviedo.
And today, Diego will talk about what is going on at Standing Rock.
Standing Rock. Standing Rock is a Indian reservation in North Dakota. It is mostly populated by the Sioux Nation. Now, some conflict has come up, and this is oil in North Dakota. So, what's going on is the government found oil in North Dakota, and they want to go in. They want to make pipelines. They want to start drilling on the natives' land. And what the natives are doing about it, they're protesting. They're telling them that they don't want them in there. So they're doing whatever it takes to get the government off their land and have them stop construction or whatever it may be. They just don't want it there.
Is anyone helping these Native Americans?
Yes, there are lots of people helping. There's people coming in from all over the United States helping to protest, people that are going in and helping the natives, like this one guy, for example. He was a former U.S. Marine, and he is currently a police officer right now. What he does is he goes in and he helps with whatever it may be. He may chop wood for someone, he may hand out food, water, he may pick up trash around the campsite, help set up teepees, help set up tents. He's pretty much just there to help with anyone. Doesn't matter what it is, he'll probably do it for you.
But aren't people that are helping out getting arrested?
Yes, some people that are helping out, they're getting arrested for trespassing.
Do you think that is a legitimate arrest?
No, because if you look at it, they're only trying to help. And if you're getting arrested for, trespassing, they should probably look at it a little bit further, because what if they were handing out food or water to some little kid that hasn't eaten in a couple days? I mean, that I don't think that is a legitimate charge.
And if you think about it, the cops could be trespassing too, technically. I mean, think about it.
So what's basically going on is the government is wrongfully moving out Native Americans from their homelands just to drill oil.
Using force to drive them out as well.
Okay. Well, now we will switch to Ryan. He will be talking about what the natives are doing.
Why are there protests about the Dakota pipeline? It's simple. They don't want technology going through their land. The route that the pipeline would go, it's half a mile of the Standing Rock Reservation. So the pipeline would basically put water supply at risk, and all they want to do is they want to keep their land whole and natural the same way it's always been. The protesters, they're numbering in thousands, including members of hundreds of different tribes. They argue that completing the pipeline would destroy ancestral lands, threaten the water supply, and unfairly burden the Standing Rock.
Do you agree with them?
Yeah, it's been the same forever. I don't see why they would want to change it now, just because it's more convenient for them putting the pipeline through there. But the land has been the same forever, and I don't know why they would want to change it now, just at their convenience. People say change is good, but these natives, I don't think they believe that. They don't want their land changed in any way, shape, or form. That's the reason why there's been nonstop protests over this. Even people who don't live in the area stand to protest because they don't want it to change either. Last week, everyone that was protesting at Standing Rock was ordered to evacuate after 4 months of protests. At the protest, there were over 2,000 veterans to stand in protest, along with hundreds of people from different places. There's people from California, Hawaii, all over the nation, just protesting with the natives.
Why do you think something like this isn't being presented on the news, such as other topics?
I don't think that because they're in North Dakota, and I don't think not much goes on there. I don't think they find it as big of a deal as Trump being elected president or whatever else is going on,
And also to throw in my idea about that, yeah, like Ryan said, Donald Trump is way more exciting, obviously, than pipelines and Native Americans being driven out. Sometimes I think about it as that the U.S. is just kind of avoiding it so they can kind of keep it a secret, so that way they don't look bad driving the Native Americans out using force.
So are you saying that the election was basically used for a cover-up?
Not exactly. I'm saying that it was a really good cover-up for the time being, but sooner or later they're gonna have to start.
All right, well, it's time to go to Sabrina, who will talk about what the police are doing.
Well, how would you feel if a protest that you've been spending months of your time supporting was in the midst of being shut down? This is the turmoil that many supporters of the Standing Rock protest campsite are facing, as drastic efforts are being done by officials to try and crack down on the protests. Officials are planning to
Go ahead.
Officials are planning to close access to a campsite where protesters have been fighting to stop the construction of a crude oil pipeline near the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. A letter was sent to the chairman of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe from the Army Corps of Engineers explaining that the decision had been made to protect the general public from violent confrontations between protesters and law enforcement officials. The chairman replied in a statement that the tribe was deeply disappointed by the decision and that it was both unfair and unfortunate that this announcement came the day after the country celebrated Thanksgiving, a historic exchange between Native Americans and the first immigrants from Europe. He also stated that although the news was unfortunate, it was not surprising considering the last 500 years of mistreatment of his people. The government effort to shut down Standing Rock protests have also taken terrifying turns in the past couple of weeks. A spokesperson for the Morton County Sheriff's Department told Reuters that an emergency evacuation order would allow law enforcement to block all supplies, including food, from entering the camp. That order was thankfully soon canceled. During protests, members of the Sioux tribe and their allies have been sprayed with water cannons in very cold weather, hit with rubber bullets, and are being arrested by the hundreds. And although being fought by law enforcement, the protesters are continuing to stand strong for what they believe in.
Okay, well, we will go to my turn. I will talk about the abuse that is going on. People may hate you for being different and not living by society's standards, but deep down they wish they had the courage to do the same. This represents what's happening at Standing Rock perfectly, as Native Americans are standing up against the police as they are trying to wrongfully move them out of their lands. Now, we'll talk about water cannons that are being used. Native Americans are being hit with high-pressured water in freezing weather, causing many to become sick. There's also use of rubber bullets. Many people have been shot by these, including children, and has caused many injuries such as broken arms. There have been wrongful arrests, such as criminal trespassing, rioting, and endangerment by fire. Now, Camp Hernick and members were arrested facing all three charges. People who were arrested and had numbers placed on their bodies. And they were also placed in cages that activists refer to as dog kennels. Now, the police call them temporary holding cells. And many people disagree with what they're doing. Now, the National Guard has been involved as well, such as on October 27th, about 200 police in riot gear along with National Guard soldiers were involved in a raid. This had 140 people arrested at the time. Now, the police are also pepper spraying these Native Americans. So prayer groups were sprayed while they were bowing their heads to pray. Police pepper sprayed Eagle Bear and others as they protected Camp Hernick and her pipe. Concussion grenades and tasers are also being used. Now, these are use of unnecessary force, and they were very excessive. Now, the Native Americans also believe that their freedom of religion and constitutional rights are being violated. Men are being dragged out of inipis, their sweat lodge ceremonies, similar to any church or synagogue. Now, a number of teepees that were erected on historic treaty land were also razed or taken down. Sioux Chairman Dave Archibald II is suing the state of North Dakota for what is going on.
Do you believe that the riot gear was necessary?
No, I do not. The Native Americans are not using any weapons. They are using their freedom of speech, and it's basically being terminated. Thank you for listening to La Junta High School podcast about Standing Rock. We'll talk to you later.